Hello, Phil.
Good morning, boys.
All right, Johnny, you just had some breaking news, if you would. It's not going to shake the foundations of the world, but you had some. Go ahead.
No, Ian Rappaport is reporting at this hour that after missing the entire season, after being diagnosed with blood clots, and Gerard Mayo kind of hinted at this yesterday, Christian Barmore is going to attend his first practice this afternoon. Big news for the defensive line. I don't know if that means he's going to play this weekend. Probably not. But the fact that he's out on the field, a major step in the right direction.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What would the ramp-up time be for?
Yeah, I think I'd be a little surprised if he were to play this week, just because you miss as much time as he did. You might need a little bit more in terms of acclimation, especially a fully padded practice, I would guess, before you go out there and actually play in a game, because today will not be fully padded, is my guess. Thursday, typically not. It's usually a Wednesday thing. But it's great news for them. And he has been working out pretty hard over the course of the last couple of weeks. I've had a chance to talk to him over the course of the last few weeks, and he's working out. He's been getting close, he's felt, at least for some time now. And Mayo actually, I think a week or two ago, hinted at the fact that a return was possible this season.
Back soon,
right?
Yesterday when you guys talked to him, he said it could be this week.
Drilled down on it even further. Yeah. So obviously one of your best defensive players. One of the reasons, in my opinion, the defense has been disappointing over the course of this year, especially relative to last year. There's a reason they gave him a lot of money this offseason. And so if they can get him back and you can get him out there, that's one step closer toward this whole thing of just being a pain in the ass to play against at the end of the year, which is basically their goal. It's not make the playoffs. It's not win every game from here on out. It's just be tough to play against. And if he's out there, that helps him in that regard.
And based on the recent past, they're capable of that. They can beat bad teams, and we'll see how they do. When they play better competition. But yeah, at this point, you would think the litmus is how well you play against good competition rather than just wins and losses. Is what you're saying?
Definitely,
yeah.
And especially when it comes to something like being able to stop the run. Even though they were better there against the Bears, I think they allowed just 3.7 yards per carry. It was the first time in 8 weeks they'd prevented a team from running for over 100 yards. I think he helps them there, and I'm not sure how much credit to give them. I give them credit for sure, but the Bears have been so bad and so dysfunctional offensively, and I think just in terms of their assignments, they were so confounded on a regular basis on that side of the football in Chicago that it's hard to put a lot of stock into the Patriots' run defense and say, oh, they figured it out, because they prevented DeAndre Swift running behind 4 backup offensive linemen for running for very, very many years.
One of whom they released yesterday, right?
Nate Davis. Well, Nate Davis decided he wasn't going to show up to work, apparently, and came down with a back injury on the day of the game. Yeah, they're having been a full participant in practice throughout the course of that week.
That's bad luck for Nate.
Yeah, well, listen, I have slept funny on my back in a hotel bed. Woke up the next day, I would not be able to play a football game.
He wasn't even going to be able to rap for his rap group.
Not that either.
And now they're saying that veterans...
Cardiovascular exercise.
That's right. Now they're talking about the veterans didn't want Caleb Williams to start anymore. Like, that whole situation is a disaster. Yeah. I mean, a real disaster. So Patriot fans could look at Chicago. Chicago was a lot of people, a wild card pick for a lot of people. A lot of people. They got over the moon with them. Caleb Williams, there was an argument before the season. He was coming in to the best. There was a debate. Is this the best scenario that a top pick has ever been in for his rookie year? And look at how Drake May's being developed. As much crap as Mayo gets, in Van Pelt in particular, look at the development of Drake May. No one on this. They wanted him to. It seems like the players wanted him to start. There's no barking about his performance. Caleb Williams is great talent, but things could be going a lot worse than they're going on in New England right now. I don't like the negative talk around New England right now, because I think this is really a best-case scenario.
I think it's really funny that the Patriots beat the Jets and the Jets spit into a ditch, and oh my God, the season is lost, and Patriots beat Chicago, and now Chicago, their season is lost. It seems that the baseline is losing to this particular team this year.
Yeah, but it should be.
Definitely. You should be everybody's get-right game.
Yeah, like the Jets, there's no excuse that the Jets lost to the Patriots. There's none, and especially the way they lost. Like, they lose Drake May. The Jets get the lead, they lose it. The Jets get the lead again, and then they're all-pro, world-class defense with all the Hall of Famers on it. Yeah. Can't stop Jacoby Brissett from going the length of the field for a touchdown.
Keyshawn Booty beats Sauce on a seam route up the hash mark.
You can't stop them in the red zone. They got to score a touchdown there. You can't stop them from scoring a touchdown. That's inexcusable. So the Patriots, all this is like the Jets suck, which they do, and the Chicago sucks, which they do. But you were supposed to be that team. Like, you were supposed to be the one losing those games. No one before the season, or even before that game, really, but especially before the season, thought that they would beat the Jets at home except for me. And then, because I know what goes on with that team.
That's true.
But I'm no Kresgener expert. I just know what happens with that team. Yeah. Before the season, no one thought they would beat Chicago. So I don't care what's happening. They had a healthy Caleb Williams. They had DJ Moore. They had Roma Dunze, who some people wanted them to pick. And look at that now. All the geniuses out there that said, and this is all positive Patriots stuff, by the way, but all the geniuses that said, no, this isn't the situation you want to put Drake May in. Well, it is now. And this is going as good as it could go. In my opinion, or
I want to ask you what you're saying when you say you don't agree with the negative talk. What is the negative talk that you disagree with?
Okay, that you beat a bad Chicago team and there's no stock in that, and then the Jets are a mess and there's no stock in it. Like you just mentioned, John just mentioned, Chicago loses the Patriots. Eberflus is never coming back. They fire their offensive coordinator.
They're releasing offensive linemen.
I'll give you one, Fred, and this is something I heard on Felger and Maz yesterday. And this is maybe the most damning thing that I've heard said about this team right now, and I'm not sure it's completely wrong. They're essentially the same team they were last year.
Yeah, so I disagree with that. I talked about that a little bit on TV last night.
Okay, so
if you feel that way, I feel like you don't remember last season.
I'll let you go off on it, but here's what was said: that the coaching is different. You have different people. There's certainly a new quarterback, and you can't. That one, even they wouldn't argue. There is hope now with this quarterback. But in terms of how the defense is playing, how the game plans are going, the number of wins and the actual outcomes and the actual status of the team, they're about the same team they were last year.
So here's the thing. It's too hard to gloss over the quarterback and say, I know the quarterback, but how about everything else? Because the quarterback impacts the entire team. He's that important. He doesn't even just impact the offense. He's putting the defense in better situations to the point where the defense, I would say, is worse this year than it was last year in just about every statistical measure. And even if you're just looking at the talent on the field, they're missing three of their best players from last year: Barmore, Bentley, and Peppers.
And who they traded, Judon.
And Judon, although they were without Judon for most of last year, so I don't even really count him.
All right, fair enough.
But offensively, this team is leaps and bounds beyond what the team was last year. Last year, they averaged 13.9 points per game. It was tied for last in the league. This year, overall, for the season, the number's not that much better. I think they're right around 16 or just a shade above. But since Drake May has been in, they're almost a full touchdown better than that, which is significant, right? They're averaging almost 19 points per game with Drake May. That's not going to beat anybody that's vying for a Super Bowl this year on a regular basis. It's not unbelievable, but it's significantly better. Hardy, this time last year, can I just remind you really quickly?
Sure.
This time last year, they lost 3 games where they couldn't score 10 points. They lost to the Colts in Germany 10-6. They lost to the Chargers at home 6-0.
I remember that.
And then they lost to Tommy Cutlets, I believe it was 10-7 on the road.
Well, he was a phenom.
He was unbelievable.
Okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate because the team feels different. The attitude is different. I can't help but feel differently about this team. However, talking about Drake May, it's impossible not to mention Drake May as the most important thing. Of your 3 wins, Drake May was only in there for 1 of them.
How about this then? Well, then that's a positive. That's against his argument. But how about this? You lost a very controversial. People love Belichick with the 6 Super Bowls, so you lose this incredible mind, and you're playing a rookie quarterback. Right there, if everything was exactly the same, that's a good news. Your rookie coach is performing at the same level with the same talent as a Hall of Fame coach, and you're playing a rookie quarterback.
But people aren't reasonable, and they expect they expect immediate improvement moving from
Belichick
to and look,
why did Belichick get fired? Why did Belichick get fired? Off the top of the head, what was the main reason he got fired?
Roster
that he constructed, not coaching. That was the whole thing. He can't put together the roster. He's not a good coach. So with Bill Belichick's roster, Mayo's coaching it to the same level. That's great news. That's again, when I say these are like as good as you could have expected, that's as good as you could have expected. So a guy that never has been a head coach is doing as well. The argument is they're the same as a Hall of Fame coach.
But again,
that's great.
The expectations are unreasonable, and that people want improvement. They want improvement from a rookie quarterback that didn't play in the first 5 games.
Well,
what did he come in week 6, week 5,
yes.
whatever, and from a head coach who has never been a head coach before.
Well, it was even though he was a Hall of Fame coach, it was a dumpster fire last year.
Yes,
and they have a clearly better player quarterback. So I actually understand the expectations being a smidge higher. You should still be reasonable about it. I think this is about where a lot of us thought they would be at this point in the year.
So the expectation is that Mayo is going to outcoach Belichick his first year as a coach?
I don't think it's completely unreasonable to expect a better product than what we saw last year, Fred. It was that bad.
Oh, no, I watched it too. I had to watch it too.
Then why are you surprised that people are expecting more?
Because there was all this controversy about getting rid of Belichick.
They really.
Oh,
but by whom?
Still there was.
Or from whom?
The paying public, the fans.
The Bobos.
I don't think the masses. I think it was the unreasonable.
Okay, we
just
minority. Put a video up on Instagram that Nick put up of me making fun of Belichick attacking the team, and read the comments on that thing. Other than me to go kill myself,
they're endless.
Belichick. They screwed up Belichick. I think that you're hobnobbing at these salons with the academics of the football.
Yes,
the Patriot fans. This was big controversy, and by the way, everyone wanted Mayo fired after their soft thing.
That's true.
I mean. The expectations of this team were 4.5 wins with Vegas. They win 5 games. They outperformed Vegas,
and they could certainly get there. They got 7 games left. They need to go 1-6 just to match last year.
But Vegas is telling you they should have outperformed what they did last year under Belichick by setting the number at 4.5, or it should be at least the same, right?
And he'll meet those expectations.
Fine.
I think there's 1 win in there. They'll meet them.
I think they'll win. They've got 3 winnable games coming up.
So there you have it.
So not that they'll win all 3, but they should win at least 1 and maybe 2.
How many think tanks do you belong to?
That's a good question.
Well, how much is Mensa charge for a yearly membership?
It's too much, John. It would make
no, they pay him.
Oh, they pay him?
Yes.
When they get, can you imagine Breer at one of these salons just bulldozing over everyone?
Jesus.
Not showing up on time.
We got to deal with that tomorrow.
He doesn't show up on time.
Is that true?
No.
He never shows up on time. Like never. Like
we get a text at about. He's supposed to be here.
We told him to turn around and go home last Friday.
We get a text. He comes. You know where he lives. Route 3 is always a disaster,
Sure.
and yet somehow he always gets caught in traffic.
But then again, he has time to run before, and then lives in Duxbury by choice, which.
There was a time, Phil, and we're not lying about this. He showed up late, but he had a fresh coffee cup full of Dunkin'.
See, that's a tough look. That's tough.
Really
you show up. It's like,
He goes, the guy had Amazon
to walk
last
the dog,
night, and you're like, well, okay, that sucks. You're like, I get it. You were working late, and you have to be here at 7. And he's like, yeah, I went for my jog, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Like you get up in the morning and you put on clothes and you go to work, and it takes a long time to get here. Yes, you chose to live in Duxbury. It's 40 miles away. Would you think it was going to take you 10 minutes to get here?
You have to deal with a piece of that same traffic getting here, do you not?
I do, but what I will do is I'll drive Jim Louth right off the road to make sure I get here on time.
That's right.
That happened.
If that doesn't say something about who really cares about contributing to the program and who doesn't,
Yeah.
By the way, you live 45 miles from somewhere. Like, traffic is not the issue. The issue is the space between you and the place you're going. And like, unless you can Star Trek your way there, 45 miles is going to take a good amount of time. That's like vacation. People take vacations to places 45 miles away. The terrain is different. You're in a quaint town at that point.
Is he closer to the Cape than he is to here?
Yes, 100%. He lives in a quaint town.
I think he is.
Like,
He's
you can't
closer to
have
the
it
Cape.
both ways, dude.
Closer to the Bourne Bridge than he is to here.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it's because he's in such a remote location that he's far from everything.
He's up against the water there on the
Oh
coast.
man, it is. Is
it close?
It depends on where you want to consider the start of the Cape. Are we counting
Bourne
Sandwich?
Bourne Bridge. That's what I consider.
Over one of the bridges. is
He's
the Cape.
close. Well, to here, Waltham, he's absolutely closer to the Cape than he is to Waltham.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And Waltham is a reasonable western suburb to get to. Like Waltham, you can't complain about. I mean, there's a
it's
million
not
people that work in Waltham.
Leominster, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.